Hello, it's Amy with Just a Little Ink. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I'd love to share with you today a fun fold. It's actually a simple easel fold calendar card. It's something I have adapted from a card idea I saw originally from a fellow demonstrator named Trisha Butts. Her blog is Trisha's Stamping Creations, and she shared a post where she did this layout using the kindest gnomes back on September the 2nd of 2022. I will put a link to her blog in my description of this video just so you can check it out. But I've adapted it and tweaked it, and originally, I created a card using this At the Pond stamp set. It's a brand new stamp set, a host-only set that will be in our January to April mini catalog that's coming out. So I cannot show you the insides of the catalog, but I can show you the stamp set. I can show you the front cover of the catalog. Beautiful. If you haven't received one and you don't have a demonstrator, send me a message. I'd love to share a catalog with you. Also want to remind you that you can check out all the details to this on my blog, justalittleink.com, and any of the supplies I'm using. Again, if you don't have a demonstrator, feel free to order them through my website, justalittleink.stampinup.net. Please use the host code at the top of this video if you are ordering anything under $150. If you use that code and you place an order above that, it'll negate any host rewards that you would earn. So without further ado, let's start and talk about all the things you need. You'll need the stamp set or one that you choose to use. I am using a half a sheet of our Granny Apple Green cardstock, 5.25 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. We have some more measurements we will do. I'm using a piece of paper. This is Celebration only paper. Comes in a big pack. It's called the Dandy Designs Designer Series paper. Beautiful colors. You're going to use a piece that starts out at 4.75 by 4 inches. You'll also need some scraps of basic white. One that we're going to cut out a cute little frog sitting on a log. This one is measured 2.5 by 3.25. Then one for the inside, 2 inches by 3 inches. You're also going to need some scraps for some clouds, a scrap of Pool Party, and a scrap of Mango Melody. So let's start. First, we're going to go ahead and stamp. This is a two-step stamp, meaning that you have two parts that you're going to stamp. And I want to actually stamp my frog first. So I'm going to pull out my little frog. I have taken one of my Pierce pads and I've cut it in half so that I have a simple mat, because anytime you're using photopolymer stamps, you want some cushion behind it. So I'm going to pull out my block. I need a C block. It's a little dirty. Clean it up a little bit. Stick my little froggy on there. And I'm going to choose to stamp him in actually Pear Pizzazz. But I'm going to stamp his outline in Old Olive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line him up. Want him sitting, about like so. So I'm going to line him up here. Then I'm going to grab another block just for ease of stamping. We can go ahead and close that Old Olive. I'm going to take the inside piece that is got some dimensions and stuff on him. Gives him such a cute look. I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. And it's a matter of lining up. I might be pulled out of this view of sight here, and then I'll kind of show you what I'm doing here. You want to line up the two parts get them back in the view so we get them here. Like so. That fills in my frog. So I'll step that out of the way. Then I'm going to stamp. Whoops, before I stamp, you're going to stamp him one more time, and you're going to put that on a piece of our masking paper. They are sheets of paper that, let me pull some over here, as you can kind of see. Our masking paper, they're 5 by 7 inch sheets, sticky, and have a part that you can pull off on the back, and then cut them out into different shapes. I am going to, I'm not sure why. Oh, you know what I did? We did a different frog. You've never done those things, right? So I'm going to pull off this frog. He's really cute, but he's not going to help us with this video. So we need the frog that's sitting. So you never mess up, then I'd love to come see you because I mess up all the time. Oh, thankfully we have 2 sides to paper. So I'll line up my frog. So get him here again, same process. But we need the correct frog. Line him up here. I'll have another video at some point where I can use that other frog. He's really cute. Line him up here. Hopefully we do just as well with this one. Oh yeah, there we go. Now when I open up my stamp my frog, and I'm wondering why he has different legs, then when you cut him out, it takes a little fussy cutting, but it allows you to cover up your frog using that masking paper again. Line him up to cover up everything you've stamped. Then I'm going to take out the log, and I want to get my block here, and I'm going to use Early Espresso for the outline. You see I've done this a few times. I'm going to line him up here like so. I'm going to pull this off. I'll clean these later just to save time on you watching me do it all. Okay, and then to put on the inset, you could stamp off the Early Espresso and make it lighter. That is a way to use less colors. So I'm going to open up Soft Suede. Ink up Soft Suede. Same process. I'm going to line it up on top of that log, like so. 2-step stamping is fast. You don't have to do a lot of coloring because it's all done for you. And Stampin' Up! Has done a wonderful job of making our stamps better and better all the time. So then you pull off gently your mask. And if you notice a little piece like I do here, you can take one of our little blender pens and kind of just push a little bit of that color around. I'm going to make sure it blends in. Has a little gap. Sometimes when you mask, you get some of that. So then what you will do is you will cut out all your stamp piece. Use your paper snips. I won't do it all because it just is tedious. But you're going to come here, open and close your scissors, move your paper with your other hand. And it'll go along and you'll get a nice frog that is cut out. And we'll just kind of stop at this. I've already done that so that you don't have to watch me. So I have my little froggy here. So I've also gone ahead and I have cut a piece to look like pool water. This is using our layering dioramas dies, and I'm using the smallest shape and cutting a piece from Pool Party. I then cut using that Mango Melody piece. I used the very popular Stylish Shapes dies, and I'm using the second to largest circle to cut out one. That's to give me a background for a sunset. Then using brand new dies, they coordinate with the Playing in the Rain stamp set. They are called Playing in the Rain dies, and I'm going to use the clouds with some scrap of basic white and one of these grasses with some scrap of old olive. I already did those. So I've done those already, and so that's what I'm using, two of them, the two smaller pieces, and again, that piece of grass. So we're just going to set all of this up here and out of the way because we're ready to go on with the rest of our card. So I told you you have a piece 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to pull out my paper trimmer, and I want to cut 1.25 inches in from each side from the lower half where I've scored down and with the cutting blade. So I'm going to line up 1.25 inches on this side. I use both sides of the paper trimmer. I'm going to line up here. I'm going to come up using my cutting blade, and I want to only come up to where it's scored. I want just a little more. Okay, then on the other side, I'm going to come over 1.25 inches on this side, do the exact same thing. I'm going to come up, but only up. And there's a little score mark or a line here to show me where that's at. Almost. See if we can line up exactly where I want to be. Okay. Then I'm going to turn horizontally, and I want to line up, I'm going to turn it this way. I want to line it up at 2 3/4 inches. That will be, is that right? No, I want it at 2 1/8. I want it at 2 1/8, which is half of this distance from the score line to the end. I don't want to use my cutting tool. What I want is I want to pull out my score blade, which is the lighter color. Line it up where I've got a cut mark. So again, on that little center part, and I'm only going over to where it cut on the other side so that I've scored this part. Then I can pull my paper out, get rid of my paper trimmer, and we're going to fold in half my card. Line it up. Whoops, I will need my paper trimmer one more time, however. So I'm going to score this in half, fold it over. Then I'm going to fold my centerpiece into itself so that I have this part moving. That's the easel part. And these are going to flap. So I'm going to take, I forgot about my paper. So I need to pull out my paper trimmer one more time. Line it up here. We aren't going to need the score blade, but we are going to need the cut blade. So I'm going to come and I'm going to cut only 1 inch, and I'm going to cut it off each side. And I do it this way so that if I decide to make this all line up, it will line up. So I'm going to cut off 1 inch on this side, turn it the other direction, cut 1 inch off of this side. So I have those. Then this piece I'm going to turn, and I want it at, well, let's turn it this way. I want 1 7/8. Scoot it up, do 1 7/8. This piece I don't need, so I can set it aside. Then, as I turn them all around, let's slide these off. Now we can get rid of the paper trimmer. And we can show you how quick this is to assemble. So these pieces are going to get taken and secured down. You can use your Tombow glue. You could use Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm just using my Stampin' Seal and making sure I have enough. These two outside pieces get attached and glued down. And at this part, I am following Tricia's instructions pretty closely. So I'm going to line up, fold this part over. There we go. So now you probably have noticed, I'm going to take my paper and I'm just going to fill in those sides. Take the other side for the other skinny sections. And this paper is not as directional. Some papers really are, and so you're going to want to make sure that if you're using a pattern paper that continues through, that you've got that down. So I'm going to take my paper, attach one to the lower panel. Take the other, line it up, roll my paper here, put it on the upper panel. This is what makes it pretty when it's closed. All right, so now I want to start assembling all of my guy here. So if I hold this, okay, what I'm going to do is I want to make sure I only have adhesive on this lower section. So I'm kind of eyeballing where I need that. Only need it to attach down here. So we'll get him up a little ways. See how well we did with keeping that adhesive. Not too bad. You're a little worried, just turn it around. What you want is to make sure that it isn't sticking back here. Okay, which means I need to come over just a little bit. So I want it centered. I don't want it offset. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to take my little fella here. Don't want to put him down here. You know what? Do you ever do things and then you go, I think I don't like that? That's what I'm doing. I don't like that. I'm going to bring it up. And so I'm going to set him down into here. So I'm going to go ahead and take and put my adhesive on the back. Again, you could use your Tombow glue. I would do this a little differently if I hadn't taken and put my frog with the backer piece here. So I'm going to line him up. I think I'm actually choosing to do completely different from what I had thought I was doing. That's okay too. So I'm going to take my grasses, stick them over here because I liked how that stuck up. And then I'm going to take my, I'm probably not even going to use my water. I'm going to take and put a cloud up in the sky because when it's closed, I've got other sections I want to see. Then I took a mini dimensional and actually stuck it on the back of my smaller cloud. So I'm going to line up it so it's offset. And then when everything is closed, kind of see them like this. If I had done without the sun in there, I would have lined up my water and had it down below, but I'm not going to even use them. It's kind of sad, but I'm not. So this other piece, this 2x3 piece, I'm going to go ahead and attach at the upper portion of my card. Again, this is a little different from what Trisha had done in her video and in her I'm not sure she even videoed what she had done in her blog post. Then I'm taking one of the little mini calendar. These were from Tailored Expressions. I'm pretty sure they've sold out completely. I'm going to use some of our tear and tape, super great adhesive, to line up on the back side. You want something that's not going to go anywhere. So I'm lining up a little bit on the top and a little bit on the bottom. It doesn't have to go all the way across because, again, it's a really secure, really secure adhesive. So take those cover pieces, go ahead and throw them out. And then what you're going to do is you're going to line this up in the center. It's perfect to sit right in here. And if it overlaps just a little onto your white, that's okay, like so. And then what happens is, get this moving here, it'll sit, you can kind of see how it just sits. And then as they tear off all the months as they go through the year, they've got a cute little calendar. So I hope you enjoyed. I've got one little card I want to show that kind of is a little variation from this idea. I took the frog, I gave him a tongue, put a little bug on him. This is using the painted, I think it's Painted Christmas. This is on the discontinued list and it'll be available for a few more days. And did just a traditional easel fold card that, again, is using these calendars. Kind of a cute idea, same stamp set, but different idea. So thanks again for joining me. I so appreciate those who have subscribed. Thanks so much. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I so would love it if you would. Please comment, like, share on this video, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.